Hey, what's going on, Purple People podcast fans? Welcome to this week's show. It is Friday, July 5th, 2019. I'm Kyle Smith. Man, we get to change it up a little bit. We had Kyle squared like the last month. So we got Dorian Foley back with us. What's up, dude?
What's going on, everybody?
Glad to have you back, man. Adam Carlson's with us too. How you doing, sir?
Not too bad, just getting everything all set up here because I was hearing multiple versions of everyone because I had some YouTube pages open to monitor the chat, and there was a nice little echo going on. But I've been away for a while. I've been visiting my mom, working on the house, getting everything all cleaned up. And back in St. Paul, I'm not feeling good today. I've been quite sick, but I'm not going to let that keep me from podcasting today.
I'm glad to be with you guys today, but I have to tell you, and it's going to be way too much information because that's what you need at the beginning of every podcast. I was so sweaty and disgusting today, I had to change halfway through work. I have not missed this southern humidity all day dealing with dogs, and I was disgusting. So apologize to the guys in the chat here.
I can get even more disgusting if you want. This is my third shower of the day.
Yes.
And it isn't because I'm hot and sweaty.
That's fair.
Oh, wow.
What's her name?
So, yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, I was late, and we were going to start like 10 minutes ago, but I had to get a shower, and like everywhere you go sit down on a hard plastic chair or wooden chair, and you just see the imprint that you leave. It's like, all right, cool, man. It's time to go take care of that. So I'm glad to cool off and join you guys. I'm not going to lie. We told Dorian about this. He was asking, trying to get caught up a little bit. There's not a lot going on, so this is going to be kind of an open forum show. So if there's anybody in the chat that has anything and they want to talk about, ask away. You'll help us out, and we'll keep some content going. I'm going to go ahead and do this episode number real quick before I forget. It's episode 354 for the Purple People podcast called Who You Gonna Call? And, man, let's see. Let's get started on this. I'm going to go with one of my favorites.
You already got a call out in the chat.
Oh, really?
Yang Yao says, I hate that show on your shirt, Kyle.
Dude, I'm wearing it every week then. I'm wearing it every week. I love this show so much. So much.
I mean, the Purple People podcast's pretty good, too.
You know, I did order some stuff from Kyle West, who's not with us right now, and I'm just waiting on it to get here so I can rock it while we do the show. But, hey, Kyle, send that shit out. Thanks. Yeah, this was pretty cool because I listened to Pro Football Talk with Mike Florio, and he admitted that he grew up a Viking fan, and he said the same stuff that we all say. He's like, yeah, they ripped my heart out for a long time, so now I expect it. But he had Kyle Rudolph on, and he's had him on the show a couple times, and he asked him the generic stuff. I'm not going to go through that, but he asked Kyle, was like, hey, who in your eyes has shined thus far before you get to training camp? Who's a standout? And I was very surprised but very happy to hear that he said Garrett Bradbury, the rookie center that we picked in the first round from NC State. He said, dude, he's holding his own and then some against guys like Linval Joseph, and if that's your barometer for how you're going to do during the season, that's a pretty good way to judge it. Dude, I'm stoked to hear that kid's doing well because everybody was saying, well, Elfline's the center and what? I don't know. I've never heard of this guy, whatever. Hey, I'm super excited that this might work out. I just hope this guy doesn't get hurt.
I am glad he's excelling in non-contract walkthrough drills. That's awesome. Let's see some pads on. Let's see how it goes.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I am excited because he is a great scheme fit for the team. He should be able to come in, be plugged into center, and play at a high level, allow offline to move out to guard and excel out there where he can focus more on blocking and not have to worry about hiking the ball, what directions, calling up plays and everything. So, yeah, I mean, this should work out best for everyone.
I expect the running backs to give the O-line some love because that's kind of like a birthright. You have to tell them what's up and say thank you. But when the tight end says that, I'm pretty happy with it, and I'm excited to see it. And he's a Charlotte kid, man. I have nothing but love for this guy.
Well, maybe Rudolph's watching and being like, huh, that's how you block. All right.
Coming in hot today.
Hey, I'm not feeling well, so I'm going to make everybody else not feel well, too. That's my goal.
You guys
the Daily Norseman shared an article that was pretty interesting about a brewery in South Dakota having a Vikings-themed beer being called one of the best. The Remedy Brewing Company in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, has Skullberry beer.
Man, I love beer and I love the Vikings. I just hope that it doesn't disappoint me at the very end. I like a beer that lasts.
Fruity beer, like I don't know. I've never had fruity beer. Well, I guess Blue Moon counts as a fruity beer, right? Because it's orange or something, right?
It's got citrus to it. I think.
Right.
I think that if you go dabble, I like the IPAs because I like the bitter and the sourness, or the hoppiness. But I'm venturing my way to sours now, which have more fruitier base. Man, those things are good. I'm wondering if it's a sour. Do you have the details on it, Adam?
Let's see what we've got here. It says that the key ingredients are tons of blueberry puree and Holler Tower Mittel Furrow hops. So I don't know. It does say they settled on a blueberry wheat because of its tinge and sweetness, and ended up being a lot bigger success than they thought it would be.
Cool.
So yeah, Minneapolis here, there are just so many varieties of IPAs. My cousin Pete, he made his own little batches of beer as a little while. He gave me a batch back when I was in my drinking days of this jalapeno beer he made, and that was definitely interesting.
Spicy. So what was that like? What was that like? The spicy alcohol.
It kind of paused it to where you couldn't just drink it. It turned it into a sipping beer, which is nice because during my days I definitely drank beer as fast as I possibly could. But yeah, the jalapeno was cool, and he'd make stuff with berry. He'd make stuff with different grains, and I never realized how big of a deal a lot of the IPAs were, because up in the UP there's only a couple here and there, but down here in Minneapolis, St. Paul, it's everywhere.
Yeah, they're my favorite because you get to sip on them and you have a reason to hang out longer. It's kind of a lazy man's beer, because if you're going to drink IPAs, you're not chugging it like you would a Natty Light or something like that. You're going to interact, which is terrible for my health now that I think about it, because I'm probably going to order pretzels or something shitty and eat that.
I used to drink Coors Light because you could drink it constantly. You didn't even have to pause. One after another, you could just go to town.
Yeah, I'm getting into sours now. I guess I'm growing up a little bit, getting out of my hipster phase.
The only IPA I ever had was Steve Austin's Broken Skull IPA.
How was beer?
That beer was the most smoothest, tastiest, nastiest thing I ever had. Like, it was a mixture of everything. but it was good, man. Now, I don't condone drinking and driving, so kids, please don't drink and drive. But I'm telling on myself. I was so excited. I got it at Whole Foods. I was so excited. I bought the beer, went outside. I went in my car. I popped it open. And I drank not even half. Like, it was a big bottle.
Right.
And I just had that moment. I'm like, I need to stop. And I need to continue this once I get home. Because I was already feeling good. I was buzzed. Yeah. So
we got Michael Cambria hopping in here with us in the chat.
What's up, Michael? Give us something to talk about.
I know, right? Because we're talking about IPAs, Michael.
We're talking about Stone Cold Steve Austin's Broken Skull beer.
Well, let's keep things a little bit more on the Vikings track. We got the NFL.com's Elliot Harrison released a list of the top 25 quarterbacks of all time, and 3 of them have suited up for the Vikings. Surprisingly, they are not in the order I thought they would be in, but pretty darn close. The highest of the list from former Vikings perspective, of course, is Brett Favre. Came in at number 12. But then you've got Warren Moon at 22 and Fran Tarkenton at 23. I think those should be flipped, but, when you've got a list that is all opinion-based, you're going to have situations where you value one player higher than another. So it's nice to see all 3 on the list, though. And I can't really think of another one Randall Cunningham, probably outside the 25. McNabb, not even close. So, yeah, those are the only 3 I can really think of. How about you guys?
I figured Favre would be on there, but Jesus, man, I didn't think he was going to be 12. Like, what? I'm going to his list right now because I have to see who he's got above him. And if he has Aaron Rodgers in front of Brett Favre, I'm going to be pissed.
He's going to be, right?
I figured he will. I had this conversation with my buddy Greg the other day, and I was like, man, these guys are so close together now because Rodgers hasn't won anything for a while. They had early success, MVPs, went to a Super Bowl. Unfortunately, Favre can say, hey, man, I went to 2, and I went to a back-to-back, and you haven't made a second one yet.
Let's see, Brady, Montana, Peyton Manning, Johnny Unitas, Otto Graham, Drew Brees, Dan Marino, Roger Staubach, John Elway, Aaron Rodgers at 10, Sammy Baugh at 11, and Favre at 12.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
Nope.
I admit I don't know enough about Sammy Baugh to really comment on where I think he should be on the list. I didn't follow the Washington Redskins. I don't know much about him from 1937 to 1952, so that's a little bit outside my range of expertise.
Right.
Here's my thing too: is and this is great because it always leaves content and debate for all of us. I don't care about he's the most talented guy. If we're going off of talent, Cam Newton's probably the most talented quarterback outside of Michael Vick I've ever seen. Because holy shit, who can do what they can do? But you have to bring in winning at some point. I can't put, and I'm going to piss everyone off, so I just have to tell you this up front. I can't put Dan Marino in front of Brett Favre because Brett went to 2 Super Bowls and he fucking won one. I just
judge individual players by their team. There you go.
I can't do it, man. I can't. And I know it's not fair. He didn't have anything around him. Man, you got to go home at the end of the day with some kind of hardware. That's why I have such conviction with Rodgers. He's got like the greatest passer rating ever, but dude, he's had some shitty seasons. And it's just, he's Aaron Rodgers. What does that mean?
Yeah.
I'd like to know what that means. Oh, well, he's just Aaron Rodgers. Cool. But back to what you're saying about our quarterbacks, man. I'm agreeing with you, man. You got to put Fran up there. It's the first scrambler that made history.
I like that Fran was such a dual threat. The fact that he could burn you with his legs or his arms, and he just really changed the game in a lot of ways because of his ability to do so. This was at a time when the NFL was still a very, very run-heavy league, and he had the ability to not only add to the running game by having the threat of his own legs, but to add to the passing game with the threat of him scrambling out of the pocket. It's one of the reasons why the Vikings offense was so deadly for so long.
You know, it's crazy. I just looked at the list too. There's a lot of people from the current era in there. It'll tell you how good the quarterbacks have been. That's pretty crazy.
So dare I say Fran Tarkenton was Michael Vick before Michael Vick?
You can say that, yeah.
Yeah. That's why I hate when we play against him, but I love Russell Wilson so much because you see a lot of the same stuff, man. You can throw the ball, but don't let him get loose because he's going to burn you.
Michael Cambria says that Warren Moon threw the nicest passes, perfect spirals, no ducks, and yeah, his motion was beautiful. His throws were beautiful. You watch his clips and highlights, and you'll just see amazingly thrown footballs.
The Black good. Joe Montana.
Ying Ya showed some, I'll put it in quotes, love for Josh Freeman, saying he's number 1. Let's talk a little bit about some sad stuff here, because there was some baseball news that kind of ties into the Vikings a little bit. Tyler Skaggs, a pitcher for the Angels, passed away, and he was a massive Vikings fan. He was known for going on Twitter, and he'd get a little rough and tumble with some of the Eagles fans every once in a while, especially when the Vikings-Eagles had the big game in the conference championship. So it's sad to see someone that showed so much love and passion for the Minnesota Vikings pass away, even though he played baseball and not football. As Vikings fans, we can all relate to that pain and that shared experience that we all had. So it's sad to see that Tyler Skaggs passed away seemingly in his sleep after being found unresponsive in his hotel room. So our thoughts and prayers go out to his family. And it's a sad thing that definitely happened there, but he got a chance to meet some of his favorite Vikings players. He was a big fan of Harrison Smith, and let's be honest, who isn't? That guy's awesome. And he got to meet Kirk Cousins while he was here in Minnesota. So he went to the game to watch the Eagles and the Vikings in the NFC Championship game. So he got to see that debacle, which is something. But yeah, it's a sad moment to see him go. He was a first-round pick of Los Angeles, and sad to see him go.
Yeah.
For sure, man. Respect to his family and send the prayers and thoughts out. And I know it's a super generic saying, but man,
I wish I knew more about his baseball career to really comment on it because I really don't. I don't follow baseball, but from what I understand, he was a pretty talented guy.
Yeah, who's out there with him? And it's in Dorian's neck of the woods, right? Is it Mike Trout's out there? Is that he's out there?
Oh yeah, for the Angels.
Yeah, I saw a little video of that, man. He was super emotional, so he affected the teammates really well too. He must have been a really positive guy.
Yeah, in the release statement, they talked about how his teammates were just all knocked out of sorts by the news, and they couldn't believe what was happening, and just kind of mind-blowing. For me, I kind of felt that too with the news of the passing of Jared Lorenzen.
Yep.
The hefty lefty.
Hefty lefty is gone, man. Was it yesterday the news came out?
Yeah, I'm older than that dude. He's got a Super Bowl ring, which is kind of great, but damn.
Yeah, man. Life is short. It's really weird thinking about that kind of stuff. You reflect on like friends you've lost. I'm only 31. One of my best buddies. I mean, he's on my arm right here. 21 years old. You think about how short life is for some people. It's really sad. Like you said earlier, man, let's send thoughts and prayers to their families. It's a little stuff like that you notice. You might not jump off the screen too in this particular case, but when everybody in the locker room was floored, it means they were a good friend to a lot of people.
Yeah.
It just sucks, man. It's so young.
Let's move on to something a little bit more positive. The Madden rookie ratings were released, and Irv Smith Jr. leads all Minnesota Vikings rookies in terms of a rating, which is pretty cool because we've got Garrett Bradbury, who came in at a 73 overall, but he has a strength rating of 89 and an acceleration of 84. So they're going to, if anybody uses the Vikings on Madden, they're going to be able to pull that guard real quick, and he's going to be able to lay out some people with that power. So,
who is this, he said?
This is Garrett Bradbury right there.
Okay, cool.
So Irv Smith clocked in at a rating of 75, and he's got a rating of 85 in speed and acceleration. So he should be able to zip around some people, make some people miss, create some big plays for your Vikings on Madden. And I know that Madden is such a big thing. I haven't played Madden in a couple of years, but I've still got friends who play on a regular basis. And it's just so awesome to see some of these Vikings rookies coming in with really good situations. Running back Alexander Madison came in with an 86 with a 68, sorry. While Drew Samia came in with a 67. And other ratings are Armon Watts, 66. Dylan Mitchell and Olabisi Johnson tied at 64. Cameron Smith, 64. Safety Marcus Epps, 62. Cornerback Chris Boyd, 61. Oli Udo has a 60. And long snapper Austin Cutting comes in with a 38.
Jesus.
Yeah, you don't want a 38.
I don't really follow it too close. I do have an Xbox. It has more dust than it's ever had playing time. But they were talking about these ratings too the other day. Just driving through town, coming back and forth from work. They were doing the reach. It's funny you mentioned all these ratings because you go in for rookies. It's always like a thing for me. It's like, man, they never play snaps. You're doing like a projection-based grade. But the guy that went 6th overall in the Giants, what was he? Was he the first quarter? No, he's the second quarterback taken right after Kyler Murray because everybody else went. Second quarterback taken in the draft, 6th overall, and he's like 5th on the rookie quarterback list. Kyler Murray's got like a 72. Dwayne Haskins has a 71. This kid has like a 63.
Earlier today, I watched a react video of Giants fans to the Daniel Jones pick, and that's always fun to watch.
Dude, he's terrible. He is awful. And I'm like, man, you want to give the kid a chance. Like, watch him come out and just prove us all wrong. Which I would be all right with like eating crow on that one, but man, they did him dirty. This bad.
Dang, that is horrible.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Pretty cool though. You were talking for ratings. I was curious to see what they gave Irv Smith. Man, I watched some highlights of him today. I'm getting really excited about this kid.
Yeah, Irv Smith, nice guy. Got to meet him. Got an autograph from him on a nice jersey with a couple inscriptions. I'm looking forward to seeing him play. I told him it's going up on the wall and expectations ain't too high. He said, "Hey, you want me to write to you?" And I said, "You can write whatever you want on there, man." To Adam, put a big skull on there. You gotta love when players take that little bit of extra that they don't have to. So I enjoyed meeting him, and I know that others in line did too. So good times.
Did he spell purple right?
Oh, he didn't spell purple on mine. Just add to Adam and skull, and he nailed all those perfectly.
Oh man,
I'm just joshing. Irv Smith is my guy.
Now here's an interesting one. Adam Patrick, who works next to me over on the Viking Age, he was checking out Arrowhead Addict, which is Fansided's website for covering the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, apparently, there is news that the Kansas City Chiefs wanted to trade up in the draft to grab Laquan Treadwell when he was a rookie and available in the draft. So once Treadwell leaves Minnesota, the thought is that he'll get another shot, possibly with Kansas City. Now, I don't know how much to put into this or if they're still that high on him after watching him play in Minnesota. I don't know. But it's something to kind of keep an eye on, especially with Kansas City. I don't want to say struggling to keep some of their players, but,
Well, let's just call a spade a spade. They might be out of wide receiver. So
they very well may be.
And when your best option after Hill is Sammy Watkins, you might be hurting for some wide receivers. So
yeah.
Michael Cameron says Irv Smith will probably catch more passes than Treadwell, and yeah, I'm definitely willing to put money on that.
I mean, if you're going to catch passes from the current league MVP, I mean, that's not a bad place to land. So
I think he means this season. Irv Smith will catch more than Laquan Treadwell from Kirk Cousins.
Yes.
I'd buy that.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
See, I did good. I didn't say anything negative about Laquan Treadwell.
You did. You restrained yourself well, and I appreciate it.
I was just sitting. I was waiting for it. So kudos to you, man.
All right. So far, 4 players have designated themselves as being available for the supplemental draft. We talk about this every year, and every year it goes by, nobody gets taken. This year should be different. Jalen Thompson should be taken in the supplemental draft. I'm not sure who's going to take him or where. I don't think it'll be Minnesota, but I think that he will be the one that actually does get a bid on by a team, and the rest will end up as free agents, which would be Marcus Sims, Shaim Cullen, and Devonair Clarington, which is an amazing name. I like the name Devonair. That's amazing.
How do you spell that?
Devonair. Wow.
How's
so regal, doesn't it?
I don't even know. See, I'm trying to Google something I don't know how to spell, so I'm going to spell it incorrectly. Oh my God! Welcome. This is Inception, guys. I just give up. I'm gonna shut my phone off.
That's my thoughts on the supplemental draft. I don't think the Vikings are going to come out with any of these guys. I don't think they have a massive need at tight end this season. Linebacker from Syracuse has some red flags. Marcus Sims, the wide receiver, kind of lacks the production that you kind of want to see from a player, especially if you're going to use a draft pick on. And the Vikings drafted a couple wide receivers. They brought some in free agency, and they've already got some really talented guys that were already on the roster. So that's those 3 guys I don't think are going to be targeted by Minnesota. I think the Vikings may put a claim in on Thompson, but I don't think it's going to be an early enough pick to actually get him. So that's where I stand on the supplemental draft. Here's an article that I've never taken a look at, so we're going to go through this together. What do you say?
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Adam Patrick over at the Viking Age, as I said, he does great work over there. He did an article with 6 players the Vikings should have never let get away, and I have never clicked through this.
I
have
an article from him open right now, maybe to talk about, but it wasn't this one. I haven't read this one either.
All right, so Terry Allen, running back. I have him on one of my lists of their best draft picks in each round. He did have some amazing numbers as a running back. I actually think that Kyle West put up a graphic that included some Terry Allen rushing stats very recently. So I don't think that letting him go too early is too bad, but We'll see who else is on the list here. Robert Griffith, safety. Yep, I could see that. He went on to have a real nice career with the Browns, and if he'd stuck around in Minnesota, he could have put in a lot more time there, and who knows, maybe made some Pro Bowls.
That was my dude. I like Robert Griffin.
He combined number 3 with Brian Robinson and Terrence Newman, and I'm not sure. I would have liked to have seen both these veterans come back to the team, but I think that the window of how close it was to being too soon and not soon enough, it's kind of a gray area because you don't want them to stick around way too long. Terrence Newman came back and he worked on the coaching staff. Brian Robinson, of course, took a little bit of time for himself and then decided to retire. I think both these decisions came at a time where they let go of them just a little too soon, but that's okay. Better than hanging on to them for too long, I guess.
You had to do the Belichick and Patriot rule with those guys. I would have liked to have seen them come along, like you said, with maybe like we said before, like with a different role. Like because Newman's been good. I think that ship had sailed as far as their playing days. I think that was the right choice.
Chris Dolman, defensive end. Oh yeah, trading him away in '94. I get wanting some draft picks, but that's still ouchy. That one does hurt. Fran Tarkenton. That was an interesting one because they ended up shipping him out and then bringing him back. But it kind of makes you wish in that middle that you had him the whole time, especially during the run of playoff games in the middle where he wasn't there, and you could have taken advantage of him as quarterback with the Purple People Eaters defense when they were in their heyday, you know. It would have been nice.
And just to have that rarity of a quarterback staying with one team the entire time.
Yeah, it can definitely be a challenge. And, of course, it wouldn't be a list with Adam Patrick if it didn't have Randy Moss at number 1.
Of course.
Well, that's just self-explanatory. Randy Moss is the GOAT.
I know Adam chimed in on it today. Did you guys see that thing I put up today? They were trying to build the
Yep, I saw it. Yep.
Man. And my Packer fans from work are like, I guess no Jerry Rice. I'm like, dude, of course Jerry Rice is the best, but I'm biased, man. I'm going to take Randy Moss every time.
You got those stickum gloves for Rice.
Exactly. That automatically disqualifies Jerry Rice of being the GOAT. You stick him. Can't call yourself great and you stick him. Sorry.
I would have liked to see Moss stay around a little bit longer. He was on some bad teams at the end too. The Vikings won him, but I don't like him. But I'm sure he doesn't care. He got to play with Tom Brady and almost had a perfect season, so I'm sure he wasn't too upset about that.
I blame catering. If we had better food, remember that was like his whole debacle. Talking about he was dog. If we had better food, then maybe Randy would have stuck around. You know. Whatever. I love Randy Moss. I don't care.
I was more of a Chris Carter guy.
Yeah,
I love Chris Carter too.
Man,
that's okay. That's all right.
See, you get into that area with this kind of conversation where it's like players we let go or players that just didn't work out. And I'm sure some of theirs that kind of float into both of those kind of overlap at some point. But man, you know who I really wish would have worked out and stayed? Percy Harvin. Man.
Ooh, yes.
That would have been nice.
That dude was awesome, even though he's kind of a dick to some people. Man, he was good.
I wish Sidney Rice could have stayed healthy because he was talented.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so let's go in on this next one here. The Vikings ownership group have partnered with some other groups to finally figure out some funding for the upcoming hotel at what they call Viking Lakes, which I don't know when it became Viking Lakes, but it's Viking Lakes now in Eagan. They're going to have a massive hotel there. It's going to be there for training camp. They're going to bring in the players and have them stay in there. Fans are going to be able to stay in there as well. It's going to be a 14-floor hotel. It's going to have a ton of amenities, which is amazing. Going to have hospitality lounges, a restaurant, rooftop bar, spa, fitness center. So we're not talking some Howard Johnson here on the corner. We're talking a little bit of an upper class facility here.
We're going to the rooftop bar on the Hilton, baby.
I love it.
Right. So, hey, what's the estimated completion date?
They are being ambitious with this. They want it to be completed in 2020.
Ooh, shit. I'm trying to make a trip next year. I know where I might be staying at, boys.
Yeah.
So if they can pull this off, put together a 14-story hotel in this year here, it'll be interesting to see. It's ambitious, but considering everything that they were able to do with U.S. Bank Stadium and the Wilf family's resources when it comes to construction, I wouldn't be surprised to see this happen in a year.
And aren't they like apartment or real estate moguls too?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, see, this is their wheelhouse. They'll get that shit together by next year. Absolutely.
Yeah, they are definitely going to have this done. They partnered up with Ecolab, the hotel physician partners, and as well as Ma Real Estate Holdings here in Minnesota. So not only do they have their expertise and their connections and everything, they've got more to build off here in the area too. So this could be something that works out really well.
Man, I know where I want to stay now. That's good.
I hope they have a good steak restaurant there. Get a good steak and some orange soda. I don't know.
Well, they say if you come to Minneapolis, you got to go to Manny's for the steak. And I'm telling you that if you're going to Manny's, put aside a week's salary because you're going to be spending it at Manny's.
Oh, geez. Okay, like that. All right.
Look, that's one of those where you just pound water all day, buy some crackers, and pack them in your bag. That's just how you go out that night.
Gee.
Oh, man. Finally, we named this episode Who Are You Going to Call? Because the Minnesota Vikings ownership has invested in a Call of Duty esports team. That's right. The owners of the Minnesota Vikings are looking at getting into competitive video games.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, shit. Man, that hits home for this show. That's cool.
So Biz Journals let the report out that the Wilf family is invested in the franchise, and it's going to be hosted by Activision Blizzard, and they're going to participate in Call of Duty tournaments. Each franchise costs about $25 million to start. It'll join franchises in other cities like Atlanta, Dallas, New York, Paris, Toronto, and more expected to be named soon. The Vikings aren't the only team that invests in esports teams around the league. You've got Patriots CEO Robert Kraft and Stan Kroenke of the Rams, who have investments in both Call of Duty and Overwatch. And, of course, the Minnesota Timberwolves. They have a team that competes in the 2K NBA tournaments.
Well, just a little pocket change, $25 million to get started.
The weird thing is, to the Wilf family, that investment doesn't seem like much. But then you've got to add on the other things. Like there was a statement that says, we are exploring the viability of building an area on the Vikings Lake campus in Eagan to host these events. So the Vikings would be building another massive, beautiful facility on Vikings Lakes for esports tournaments. And that would be another great reason to have that hotel there to fill that up. They can really turn that into an area where they can put little shops in between, maybe some fast food eateries or just convenience places. They could turn Eagan, which is a nice little suburb right now, and turn it into this massive place and almost brand it completely Minnesota Vikings, which would be amazing.
That sounds like what's happening. As you're talking about, I'm thinking about when these guys pass and their grandkids come along. Man, they're shaping an entire city, multitude of cities, and bringing it, because you got to think now, we're not Los Angeles, we're not New York, we're not Miami. This isn't a big market town. This isn't a big market team, but they have the resources to turn it into something that's like mega cool and big.
Now you're talking building the future too, because Ziggy Wilf's son Jonathan is taking care of everything from the Vikings business aspect with this esports league. So they are really trying to work in the future, trying to get a foot in the door, have them build their own little franchise on everything that they're kind of interested in, which is cool. On the other hand, it's going to be Brett Diamond who's going to be running the company through Wise Ventures, which, let's be honest, the Wilf family doesn't do a lot of really poor ventures these days. If they go big, and they make sure that what they're going big on has a high chance of being successful.
That's really cool, man. That's not really my wheelhouse, but for what it could bring and just that they're venturing into, man, these guys are great investors, and they're really smart with all they're really good at what they do, I guess.
Now, I've moved on a bit from Call of Duty. It's not what I play anymore. I used to play Call of Duty constantly. I'm into Apex Legends now. But, as the gaming keeps shifting, if you can keep things fresh and interesting, people will do that. And like I said before with the Overwatch League, I still play Overwatch every once in a while because I love that game. And watching some of these people that are just so good at this game is so fun to do. And watching people play video games has become quite the pastime. There are so many websites and apps devoted to watching gamers, interacting with gamers, and just really making celebrities out of these gamers that it makes absolute sense for the Wilf family to invest in it.
Yeah, I've seen this, man. Shout out to my friends back in Texas that I just left. One of my former bosses, man, his son's 9, 10, maybe 11, somewhere in there. And I didn't know that it was a thing. And, rather than jumping and being like, that's weird, why would he do that? I was like, hold on, that's a thing? And I see, little Alexander sitting there just glued to YouTube watching a guy play a video game. And I was like, how long has he been into that? And he's like, it's the new thing, man. And then, this is 2 years ago. And it's just blown up, getting to watch it. But I can see that, man. I think we all played, at least for our age bracket here, we all grew up playing Sega Genesis and N64 and the early PlayStation. Like, if I could watch someone go around and beat like Mortal Kombat back on Sega Genesis, I would have been mesmerized. I'm like, how? How do you do it? I used to love that game, man. Ooh, taking me back to the good old days. When you had to blow the cartridge before you put it in.
Of course. When I found out that absolutely does nothing for
nothing.
It made you feel much better about it.
It made you feel like you were doing something, which is good. Do you have anything else, Mr. Smith?
No, I was looking through. I guess I would like to ask these guys in the chat and ask you guys as well. So your boy Adam Patrick wrote a cool article. It came out 12 hours ago. There were 5 records that could be broken this year. I'm just trying to see which one you guys think could be broken. We have passing yards. Current record is held by Dante Culpepper in 2004, 4,717 yards. I'm not going to go with that one because I think this year is going to be a run. I would say a run first, but a run dominant team. If I could see them split 60-40 or 55-45 and do the run again, that'd be great. I think Kubiak and the O-line coach and a healthy Cook, a season removed from that ACL surgery, I think it's going to be awesome. But I don't think Kirk's going to throw for 5,000 yards. I just
no.
The next one he has is going to be catches, 122 in a season. So Adam Thielen, for his first 11 games, had here it goes. Last year, both Thielen and Diggs finished with at more than 100 catches through his first 11 games. Thielen already had 93. But he, that slump at the end was not good because teams started double teaming Adam Thielen and taking him out. He had just 20 during his final 5. I don't know, man. I think it's a cool record, but I don't know if that'll be beat either because you don't want to keep feeding the ball just to one person. I want to see Kirk spread the ball around. I don't think that one's going to go anywhere this year.
No, with all the weapons in the run game, I'd be surprised to see that one fall.
I'd actually like to see Kirk spread the ball around to the most players he's done in his career. That'd be really cool. That means the offense is chugging along and it isn't as predictable. But that's a cool little stat, man. That's cool stats about what our guys did last year for sure. This one's interesting, and this is probably the one I would go with just based off of a couple of years ago. Sacks for the team is 22. Jared Allen in 2011, that abysmal, terrible season we had. But, man, he was just tearing people apart. And, of course, the guy featured is Daniil Hunter. I totally think he could do this. He's going to have to play out of his mind, but cool.
If the Vikings played the Lions 4 times this year, I'd say sure.
Oh, man, that's the best. That is the joke of the podcast right there. Woo! You know what's crazy, too? talking about the Lions, guess who their offensive coordinator is? You guys have any guesses? Did you hear about this?
I know it's not Lee Bob, whatever his name is anymore.
Cooter. Jim Bob Cooter. Best name ever in NFL history. It's fucking Darrell Bevell. He's made his way around again.
All right.
Oh, wow.
Good for him.
Yeah. He'd get paid, I guess.
Congratulations to him.
Yeah, I like that. I like that one though. The sacker, that I believe is very attainable because the NFL, it's inevitable that's going to happen eventually. Somebody's going to break that record. Who still holds it up? Michael Strahan, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty close to that.
I don't think Hunter's going to get that this year though. But so far, I think that's the most probable.
Yeah. Made field goals. This seems like a fucking curse to even speak of. So I'm not even going to go into depth of that. This is a cool stat, though. The current record is held by 2 kickers. Gary Anderson in 1998 and Blair Walsh in 2012. Man, did that guy Matt Khalil his fucking career, too. Jesus.
He said that he Matt Khalil his.
They started out so good, and they're terrible now. I just don't get it. Who do you want? All right, let's answer. Let's ask that question. I think I know the answer. Who do you want to punch in the face more and get away with it? Blair Walsh or Matt Khalil?
Oh, fuck you.
That's
I
hard.
ain't punching anybody in the face.
I know. If I could get away with it. Maybe if I could just ghost slap them and they never see it. I wonder who I would pick.
I think it'll still be Matt Khalil.
Yeah, he's kind of douchey, right? I feel bad for Blair.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll be Matt
Michael Canberra's picking Blair.
What was it? 27 fucking, and it wasn't even close. It was so wide left. God, I'm still pissed about that. Whew. Okay.
I feel like Carlson got the raw end of a deal here, though.
35 made field goals. Man, that's a lot of fucking field goals.
That's a lot.
And the last one is receiving yards by a rookie tight end. This is probably the most attainable one. The current one is from Joe Sensor in 1980, 447. I want to see the sack record broken because that means the defense is like #1 in the league, I hope. But this one could probably be it because Irv Smith's going to catch, and he's got really good yards after the catch stats from college. We'll see how that transfers here, but I could see this one being broken.
I'm going to say the 35 field goals is probably the closest because that's not even 2 per game.
That's true. I don't know, man. I want to, but with the way our kickers have been the last 5 years, I don't even want to talk about field goals.
Oh, wow.
It's so bad, man. Just been a revolving door. Like, at some point, Kai Forbath was in there, too. We forgot all about him, and he was here 2 years ago.
Yeah. Well, we have Dan Bailey. Oh, I was just going to say, we have Dan Bailey for a full season, so.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
He wasn't amazing this year, but he was okay.
Yeah.
I still have faith in him. He's probably not going to be the same since he got hurt. But, I mean, Adrian Peterson's not the same. He's getting older. He had 1,000 yards last year on a shitty team. So, why not? It's the kicker, man. That's all I got. I just want to throw that one in there. I thought that was a really cool article and see what you guys thought. But that's it. I appreciate you guys for telling me my shirt sucks. I think I'll wear it.
You're very welcome.
But that's all I got for this week. You guys got anything you want to plug, advertise, enjoy, or whatever?
Yeah, head over to Kyle West's Fine Arts page, and we pinged it at the top of our Facebook page. So if you go to facebook.com/Purple People Podcast, we have T-shirts up. I bought a long sleeve. I think I bought a hoodie and a short sleeve because I love the show. I love the guys on the show, and I love everybody that gets in the chat. And you know, it sucks for this time of year as I rant for just a second because it's kind of slow and we have to wait. But we do such cool shit on this show, man. If you just listen to the show year-round, pump up the numbers and give us some good reviews and some 5 stars on there and all that, subscribe to our YouTube channel and all that stuff. I have to say all that obligatory stuff. You can win free shit from this show, from our pockets to yours, because we do a cool thing every year with the Survivor League. And, man, I like it because you can support Kyle, who's one of the guys on our show. But you can wear our stuff around. It's free advertising for us, man. Go over there and check it out. And there's a multitude of colors, man. There's like 28 different colors. There's all kinds of styles of shirts, tank tops, stuff for toddlers, women. I mean, you can find anything on there. So I wanted to personally promote that since he's not here.
Can you get something for your dog? It's a dog coat.
I just get him one of these. Dress him up in a human shirt. So fuck it.
Why not? But I do want to thank everyone who supports me over on the Viking Age. I really love that you guys have taken the time to go over there, click on articles, check out everything that we've been writing. Lately, I have not been writing much because, as I've said before, I've been getting over being sick, and I've been struggling a little bit with heading back and forth between Minnesota and Michigan. So I do appreciate you guys checking it out over there on the Viking Age. Now, on Dead Walking, things aren't as cut and dry over there. The recent big news has me shaken up pretty bad, so I'm in a little bit of disbelief right now, kind of paired with frustration and disappointment. With I don't know how to put it all together, but this is a very emotional time for comic book readers of The Walking Dead, and if you are a reader, you know what I'm talking about. If you're not, you probably have no idea what I'm saying, but it is a tough time, and we're doing what we can over there to try to ease that transition for everybody. So hopefully you guys will check that out. Plus, we got Fear the Walking Dead going on right now, which I'm still struggling a little bit to get into, but it seems like it's getting better. We're getting some interesting characters being developed on there, so hopefully that'll continue to improve. Meanwhile, we keep moving forward towards Season 10 of The Walking Dead, which, if it's anything like Season 9, I am 100% behind because that season was excellent. Otherwise, like I said, that's all I've got for you here. I appreciate you hanging in with me with all my stammering and making mistakes because, as I've said, I'm not feeling well. So I do appreciate you guys hanging out and putting up with me while I try to push through this, as well as for my co-hosts here who have hung out and enjoyed talking Vikings football with me. I always appreciate that.
Glad to have you guys back, man.
Yeah, man.
On that note, a special thank you goes to those who hang out in the chat and interact with us, Gignage, Michael Cambria, whoever else could make it and just wanted to hang out in the chat and or watch live and not chat too. That's fine. That's good. But we could appreciate some thumbs up would be cool. Maybe some shares, some likes, subscribes, whatever. If you feel up to it, cool. If not, that's fine too. But like all good things, this has to come to an end. So I hope that you all had a safe and happy weekend. I guess it wasn't weekend, right? But still.
Holiday.
Yes, this is a weekend. Yes, holiday weekend.
We're starting off everyone's weekend right because people aren't even getting ready to go out yet. And I'm on the East Coast. It's still like 5 o'clock in Dorian time too. Welcome to the weekend from here at the Pro People Podcast.
Right, it's just getting started. I mean, I'm here telling people that I hope they enjoyed it and that they enjoyed the fireworks and everything. And it wasn't even on a weekend this year.
Oh, today's the worst day, ending the show on that. It's a Friday after a major holiday where everybody just booze hounding all day long.
Right.
There was no production in America today whatsoever.
No. But the Purple People Podcast will go on. So
Right.
once again, thank you to everyone and stay classy, Minnesota.